Hello family, my name is Chris, I am your home gamer dad, and there has been a lot of team crossovers throughout the course of Power Rangers history. Mostly full teams coming together in order to defeat some big bad or whatever, save the world, all that other good stuff. But none of these crossovers come close to the epicness that we all remember from episode 34 of Power Rangers Wild Force entitled Forever Red, a 10th anniversary special for Power Rangers that brought together the 10 previous Red Rangers from previous seasons, including the Wild Force Ranger. Yes, Quantum Ranger was there. He's Red Ranger, whatever you're going to do. They needed to make 10 somehow, and pitted them against the Beetleborg wannabes and Serpent Terra. Now, here we are in Power Rangers Heroes of the Grid, the board game, and all the amazing designers, Jonathan King and his team, have decided that they were going to be able to bring that same awesomeness of Forever Red to your game. So, for today, I will be showing you each one of the cards from that pack and telling you how to incorporate the Forever Red pack into your game. So the Forever Red pack is extremely unique in that each one of these cards is actually made in order to replace a card within a Red Ranger deck. Now, ideally what you want to do is you're going to basically be doing this a one-for-one swap. So if you have a card that has one shield on it, you can then swap it for a card within your Red Ranger's deck for one shield. For example, if you had Mighty Morphin Red, which could either be Jason or Rocky, you can substitute the Blade Blaster, which has one shield on it, for another one shield card from the Forever Red pack, in this case, Red Strength. Blade Blaster would no longer be in that deck, but Red Strength would. This again works for any cards as long as they match their shield value. So you can even remove the Power Sword from Jason's deck and replace it with the 3-shield Forever Red card. If a card appears twice in the deck, like Team Tactics here, you can replace one or both of them. It's completely up to you, so long as you're replacing them with a Forever Red card of the same shield value. Every one of these cards appears twice within the Forever Red pack, so you actually have 20 cards to work with, but each one again appears twice. So if I have what I got together as one here, this is a one shield. I can replace a Team Tactics with one of these, or I can actually take both of these and replace both Team Tactics. It's basically a way of having a deck construction mechanic to the game where you're able to customize your Red Ranger however you want, however you think that they're going to be needed for the course of your game. Just remember that after you've done all of the rearranging of the cards within your deck, your Red Ranger will have the exact same amount of shields at the end as they did in the beginning. The cards may be different. They can be any which way you want, so long as you're replacing a card with a particular shield value with a card of an equal shield value. There's still going to be 20 shields in the deck. There's still going to be 10 cards within the deck. But now again, you get to construct it a little bit more to your liking, to how you think that you're going to need it for the upcoming battle. This is an amazing set of cards. There's so much potential to this set, including things like a Forever Blue, a Forever Black, a Forever Pink, a Forever Yellow. You know, it's like you can make a whole bunch of different colored themed cards, bring them into the game, and just give you so many options and so many ways that you can interact and swap around and change your team around while still maintaining their own core abilities. I think this is amazing. This is awesome. And I can't wait to show you all this in action. But first, we need to go over them one by one. So sit back and relax as we start the breakdown for the Forever Red pack.
Rangers! What? 10 Red Rangers?
Well, what are we waiting for? Let's do it, guys.
All right, here we go. Let's start off with Together as One. 0-cost reaction card, a 1-shield card. So this would replace any other 1-shield card in a Red Ranger's deck. Play this card at the start of a battle. All Rangers in other locations may use their once per battle abilities in this battle. Holy jeez, that could be powerful as anything if you have your team split up amongst all the locations on the board. Now, as a solo player, this doesn't really do anything for me because all my guys move together anyway. That's just the solo rules. All 3 Rangers move together regardless. But I can see this in, like, if you're a 5 or a 6 player game, which the game will go up to that, and your teams are like kind of spread around, whoever is the Red Ranger and has this possibly in their deck could really like bring a lot of power to that battle using the once per battle abilities or once per turn abilities for all the other Rangers that are not in that location. The cool thing about the Forever Red pack is that even though you may want to make a team of all Red Rangers to use this, and I'm going to regardless of anything, and I'll go over more of that once I'm done with the breakdown, these cards are really made to enhance the power of a single Red Ranger and make it so this way they're just better. They're just better at what they do. They're drawing in the energy from all of these Red Rangers and just really heightening themselves up. And especially if you don't have a card, if you have a card within your deck that you just don't like at all, replace it with something that you do. This is great. Even if you only put one of these in your deck, the chances of pulling it and holding onto it for a later battle is amazing. So there you go. And I like that it's the Red Emissary, I believe is what it is on the front there. I remember I talked about the Blue Emissary not too long ago. So this is the red one, the Red God, I guess, something like that. I don't know. This art is awesome for this deck. Moving on, we have Red Strength, 0 cost, the second 1 shield card within the pack. There are 3 1 shield cards, 4 2 shield cards, and 3 3 shield cards. 3-4-3 breakdown, as you would expect. This is a reaction. Play this card when any ranger adds dice to another ranger's attack. Add 2 additional dice to that attack. It is a big staple for Red Rangers to add dice to attacks. I mean, this would even be great if you had Dino Thunder Red put this in his, because all the Dino Thunder Rangers just gain dice all over the place. Jason liked to give out dice. Rocky still gives out dice. Like there's a lot of Red Rangers within the game that give out dice, and then you can also play Red Strength on top of that to further boost that dice giving ability. And there's also many other ways that, other characters can gain dice as well. The one thing that you do not have within the Forever Red set are more Zords. This is all strictly cards that you would use within your deck, but that's fine. If you really want to make a Red Ranger deck and you want to have Red Strength in there, make sure you either have the Thunder Dragon, the Red Dragon Thunder Zord in there, and or the Tyrannosaurus Zord, or various other, most Red Ranger Zords are really good. And next we have Heroic Resolve, the third of the 1 shield cards within the Forever Red pack. And remember, there's 2 copies of each one of these in the pack as well. So you're not just limited to having one of this card. You can have multiples in a single deck, or if you're playing multiple Red Rangers, spread it around however you want. Heroic Resolve is awesome because that is Dairanga. I think that's what it is. That is what the Rangers would have looked like if they changed costumes for the Thunder Zords, which as an adult, I get why they didn't do it, because it was kind of like a big shift for the show, introducing new Zords and everything, and they didn't want to change the costumes in case the kids didn't like that. But man, once they started doing that at Zio and it became a seasonal thing and whatnot, I'm sure Saban was like, man, I wish we had done it sooner. This is also an awesome card, 0 cost reaction card. Play this card after any Ranger rolls dice outside of an attack. Convert 1 miss or 1 hit result to a double hit result. So outside of an attack, it's usually a reactionary deal. If somebody gets to roll 2 dice to just kind of do damage somewhere else, or rolling dice to reduce damage or something along that way. It's a little bit more situational than you may think, because most things that involve a dice roll have the word attack attached to them, but there are a few reactions, there are a few maneuvers and everything that will enable a Ranger to roll dice out that are not like labeled as an attack, and that's when Heroic Resolve pops in, where you're able to take any one of those dice that you rolled and make it a double hit. Fantastic, awesome ability, great image, and a Red Ranger that I wish was more common throughout all the other Red Rangers. All right, on to the 2 shield cards. Commanding Strike, 0 cost, a 2 dice attack card, so it's our first Forever Red legit attack card to it. If you are the lead Ranger, another Ranger may immediately play 1 card after you resolve this attack. Otherwise, add 1 dice to this attack. So you got 2 different options for this card, which I think is absolutely amazing. It does show its worth for a 2 shield card. I'm glad that it's 0 energy, because you can do a lot from this. You're either going to do a singular 2 dice attack, which again, as a Red Ranger, you'll probably have other ways of like pumping dice into this or whatever. And then after it, either somebody else can play a card, or if after you discuss with your team, nobody else has anything to play, you make this a 0 cost 3 dice attack. So Both of those options are equally as amazing. It's hard to choose which one you would want to do because usually a follow-up card play is ideally the way to go, just to kind of do more on the field and get more abilities out there and things along that ways. But hey, anything that adds 1 dice to an attack is great. Plus then you had that card that I showed earlier that was enabling you to add even more dice to it. So ideally, this could be a 0 cost 5 dice attack with the use of 2 cards from the Forever Red pack. We have a together as one, not an all for one, but we do have a 1 for all, 0 cost, 1 dice plus 1 guaranteed damage attack. Again, this is the next 2 shield card from here. So if you wanted 1 for all within your Red Ranger deck, you would swap it for a card of 2 shield value. Just swap out of it. 1 comes out of the deck and this would go in. The next time any Ranger performs an attack during this battle, add as many dice to that attack as you rolled for this attack. And again, this is just calling for you to use as many dice as possible for this attack. So this way, you're rolling 1 dice natively. You could possibly roll like 2 more dice, 3 dice with the, the Red Dragon Thunder Sword. So now you're rolling 4 dice in general, adding it on with that other card, another 2 dice. Like this could be massive, a massive amount of damage put out for 0 cost. And then the next, as many dice that attack as you rolled for this attack. Yeah, so all the dice you rolled for this, you'd be able to use for the next attack. So if you pump this up like crazy, it then means that your next attack is equally as strong. I am really surprised that this is a 0 cost card, but I guess it's there in order to be able to encourage more card play on top of it to pump this up like crazy. Now, you're not going to be able to get an attack in that turn unless you have a card in order to do it, but man, just remember how many dice you roll for 1 for all, and you'll be able to repeat that for the next attack. That is insane. I do just want to point out really quickly for 1 for all, the keyword add as many dice to the next attack, meaning that if you pull off a huge power weapon that has like 3, 4, 5 dice and 1 for all ended up rolling 6 dice because of all of your boosts, that next card you have will have those 6 dice added to that attack. That is ridiculous. Oh man. And it's like, you think about this with other Rangers, like a singular Red Ranger that's just being fortified like crazy because of the Forever Red pack. It's more than just multiple Red Rangers coming together and feeding off each other. This power can be used for any Ranger on any team, anywhere. It's nuts. Anyway, we got Rising Power right here. Speaking of being more powerful, the next 2 shield card within the deck. This is our first one that actually costs energy. 1 energy for 3 dice. Pretty much on par as that would be. If you are the lead ranger, as most Red Rangers are, return this card to your hand instead of discarding it. Otherwise, gain the lead ranger token. Very interesting on how they have that mechanic here, where the lead ranger token actually will pass from one ranger to another during the course of a battle. Normally, you don't have too many monsters that specifically focus on the lead ranger, but if your lead ranger is taking a beating, or your character, your Red Ranger, for example, someone else is taking a beating and they're losing out, Rising Power at the very least would then start pulling their attacks towards you if you are the lead ranger. And that I think is pretty cool. If you're already the lead ranger, then this comes back to your hand. There's nothing more valuable than having more cards in your hand in order to be able to play more and get more damage out and things like that. Yeah, this costs an energy to do that 3 dice attack, but at least then you can have another 3 dice attack to follow up something with later, adding all the dice, doing all kinds of crazy stuff a Red Ranger does. Next, we have our last 2 shield card that you would find within the pack, Stand Together. I think that's Jason and definitely Lauren right next to him, Lauren Shiba from Power Rangers Samurai. Very cool images. I'd love to read where all these Rangers are in the comics and everything, because that's where you're getting a lot of these images from and whatnot. Anyway, as I said, last 2 shield cards, 1 energy, Standing Together, reaction. Play this card when any Ranger suffers damage. Reduce that damage by amount equal to the number of Rangers in this battle. All the Rangers coming together in order to do a big defensive stance. I love this because, again, as a solo Ranger, I know that for 1 energy, this will reduce the incoming attack by 3 every time, because when you're playing solo, you'll always have 3 Rangers on one, in your battle at any given time. But at the same time, if you're playing a 5 or 6 Ranger team and you're all in the middle of a boss fight and you have a huge hit coming at you, this will reduce that by 1 for every ranger in that battle, so it could be a maximum reduction of 6. That is like, oh my goodness, I can't even imagine the feeling of joy and accomplishment one would get from having this massive attack that would do a lot of damage to your rangers, spending 1 energy and just reducing it to nothing. That would be, oh my god, that is fantastic. I love it. I love this Forever Ranger pack because it makes you think about really what cards you want to bring into each one of your games. Because once you make the swap, you're stuck like that for the rest of the game. I don't think I mentioned that before, but this is something that you build your deck in the beginning of your game, and that is your deck for the rest of the game. A lot of strategy, a lot of thinking, a lot of options, a lot of fun to play. On to the 3 shield cards. The first of 3, Dramatic Finish, a 1 energy reaction card. Play this card after the last ranger turn in battle. The rangers may take an additional turn. Just gaining more turns in its own right is a dream for most players for Heroes of the Grid, because I've been in situations before plenty of times where I'm fighting like a row of foot soldiers or bosses or anything along that ways. I would beat the monster completely, but then I wouldn't have enough cards or enough resources in order to be able to take out all the foot soldiers. But if I just had that one more turn, I could set something up, do something big, and knock them all out, but I just always seem to not have that last turn. Well, Dramatic Finish is the perfect way in order to throw that down and give you that extra turn. Now remember, so long as you have a target on the field, the Rangers will continue to take their turns. You can't play Dramatic Finish if there's no enemies on the field, because when a Ranger takes their turn, they need to have a target on the field to possibly hit. Now, that doesn't mean that they can't use maneuvers to gain energy or buff themselves or whatever, but there always has to be at least a target on the field. And if you need that extra turn, if you need that one more point to bring the Rangers in, take it down, get that extra experience, get them off the board, clear out that area, unpanic it, that Dramatic Finish, that's the way to do it. All right, our next 3 shield card, United Strike, 3 energy. This is a big one. Attack Special. Each Ranger in this battle may discard 1 card from their hand with an energy cost of 1 or 0. This card's attack value is equal to the combined attack values of the discarded cards. That means, I showed you, what was it again? I forgot what it was called. Rising Power. Rising Power is a 1-cost card with 3 dice attack to it. I could discard that from my hand, and now this gains 3 dice. All right, 3 energy, 3 dice, that's not really that great. Well, now somebody else does something similar. They discard a 0-cost card with 2 dice. Someone else discards a 1-cost card with 3 or 4 dice. All of those dice then accumulate together, and that is the ultimate attack for United Strike. Now, this is a single target attack, so you got to be careful of that. Can't get around guards, things along that ways. And there's nothing here that enables you to disperse all the damage. There are other cards and other ways to do that out there right now. If you happen to have the right way to, like a Pyropot sword or something like that in order to disperse it. But still, United Strike itself could be massively powerful, even for 3 energy, depending on what other cards all the other Rangers in that battle have. And of course, the more characters you have in a spot, whether you're in a 4 or 5 or 6 player game, the stronger this card is going to be should people choose to discard whatever card they have in their hand, 1 or 0 costs. Like, if you're in a 5-person game and everybody discards a card with 3 dice on it, that's 15 dice in a single attack. That's extreme. That's a little bit insane. That's something I want to try to pull off. And of course, the last card within the Forever Red pack has to be called Forever Red, a 2 energy cost card. Maneuver, the last of the 3 shields. Until the end of this battle, each time a Ranger performs an attack, they may re-roll any number of dice during that attack. That grants everybody 1 reroll. Now, there are ways to gain more rerolls as well. Whenever you have a reroll, you're allowed to use that reroll once, but something like Jason, for example, he could use his ability to give somebody else another reroll should they need it, but that would also, of course, be his once per turn ability. If somebody plays a card that enables that card to have a reroll, you're going to be triggering the card's reroll first before triggering the Forever Red reroll. So you can get all different types of ways in order to constantly reroll, retry, and rebuild up your dice in order to do as much damage as possible. And I think that's great. This is a constant passive that's going to occur for the remainder of the game. You would want to have Forever Red in your hand as early as possible, but it does not say at the beginning of the battle, play this card. It's until the end of this battle. You could be 1 or 2 turns in and somebody managed to draw this into their hand, and then they would play it on their turn as a maneuver, and then for the rest of the battle, everyone would get a reroll. So you're not limited to when you're allowed to play this card. So long as you play it sometime during the battle, you'll be able to trigger it for the rest of it. That is awesome. That is amazing. And of course, it's got to be Forever Red. All the Red Rangers gathering together, pulling on their strength, and showing the world why they are the ones to wear this color. And there you have it, everybody. The Forever Red pack, a way to turn your favorite Red Rangers into something even greater. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Hope you learned something really cool from this entire set. Again, at the point of this recording, this is not available on the Renegade website yet. I'm sure you will be able to find it sooner than later, but I would love for you guys to let me know your opinions and what you're thinking of right now. Who are some of your favorite Red Rangers within Power Rangers lore? And then if you were to put together a Red Ranger only game for Power Rangers Heroes of the Grid, what 3 Red Rangers would you use? And ideally, maybe what type of combinations would you use on this? Is there any particular Red Ranger that you think would work well with certain cards as compared to others? Are there just your favorite Red Rangers that you like to use within the game? And then, of course, I'd love to hear also things like, what are the monsters you would use? What are the bosses you would use? What are the foot soldiers you're going to use? Because, spoiler alert, my next session is going to be Forever Red Arsenal, where I'm going to take 3 Red Rangers, listening to you guys and a lot of your suggestions and things along that ways, pit them against a Forever Reddish type deal of a scenario or something along that ways. I have everything that the game currently has out right now, so sky's the limit. Let me know what you think. I would love to hear what you guys not only think of these cards, how you would use them, and what type of Forever Red game you would put together. Guys, thank you for joining me as I went over the Forever Red pack for Power Rangers Heroes of the Grid. I do hope to see other color packs come out in the future because this is awesome. This is really cool the way they do this. And I'm really liking this direction that Renegade is taking with Heroes of the Grid, where it's now become more of a deck construction type game. They give you your initial 10 cards. Here are your cards. Here's this particular character, all of which are original, all of which are awesome. But now you have the ability to swap them out to better go with your personal play style or your personal way that you would want to use a Ranger that you like and not have to worry about pulling a card that's like, oh, I don't like this card. I have nothing, no use for it and whatnot like there. At least then you could swap it out with something here and maybe put yourself into the fight more, or just give yourself more options, or just enjoy the game more. That's what I think I love most about this, because this just increases replayability for the game because of all the different combinations you can make just with the Red Rangers and just with this 10, 20, technically, because each one is twice, card pack for specifically Red Rangers. But you know what this means. In order not to miss the next session of Power Rangers Heroes of the Grid, Forever Red Arsenal, or any other Power Ranger videos I happen to put out for you to enjoy, or any other videos in general. I love playing games for you guys here on Home Gamer Dad. Be sure you are subscribed so you do not miss a single one of any of that. If you wish to support the channel even further, there are affiliate links, as mentioned before, down in the description section below. Once the Forever Red pack is available, I'll make sure to get that down there as well. Otherwise, things like the RPM pack or the Arsenal pack or other packs like that are still available. You can find them on the Renegade website. Using those affiliate links go a long way to helping the channel. YouTube memberships and Patreon memberships are also greatly appreciated. You guys get extra votes when it comes to my decisions about what I want to do and use within future sessions. You also get videos early or full play sessions rather than waiting for all those parts to come out at once. But really, guys, in the long run of it all, your view, your like, your share, your comments, your subscription, All of that goes a long, long way to helping Home Gamer Dad grow, and just shows me your interest in what it is that you want to see from this channel, and just really give me your opinion and idea about what you think of not only this set, but other Power Ranger packs. Seriously, guys, thank you so much. You have been absolutely amazing. Please take care of yourselves and each other. We are family forever, gaming together, forever red and beyond, no matter actually what color you want to be or what Ranger you are. Let's all make sure we work together the best that we can to defend the world and make it a better place for all of us. You guys have a good one, and I will see you in the next one.